The network news anchors, who both Republican and Democratic presidents traditionally invite to the White House before the State of the Union, quote, Iran wants a deal more than I do. They just can't say the magic phrase, we won't build nuclear weapons. But Trump has yet to tell the American people why war might be necessary. As is tradition, the president inviting some high-profile guests. Erica Kirk, widow of slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk, will be sitting with the First Lady. And
new developments tonight in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie are raising significant questions about planning and premeditation. Sources familiar with the investigation now say the masked suspect seen at her front door may have appeared at the home before the night she was taken. Previously released images showed the suspect both with and without a backpack, and investigators now believe those images were captured on separate visits. That detail suggests the possibility of surveillance prior to the abduction. Authorities are examining neighborhood camera footage dating back weeks in an effort to establish a clearer timeline. The revelation shifts the focus from a single overnight incident to what may have been a calculated approach over time.
The American men's hockey team flying in fresh off their Olympic gold. Trump inviting them minutes after their historic win, joking he'll have to invite the gold-winning American U.S. women's team as well, or he'll be impeached.
We're going to have to bring the women's team, you do know that. I do believe I probably would be impeached, okay?
But the women declined the invitation, saying they were sincerely grateful but could not attend due to the timing and previously scheduled academic and professional commitments.
I recognize every one of you.
Today, Trump welcoming the men's team to the Oval Office.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Investigators are working to determine the precise gap between the earlier appearance and the night of the abduction. One theory under review is that the suspect initially approached the residence, noticed the presence of surveillance equipment, and later returned more prepared. Law enforcement sources emphasize that if confirmed, such behavior would indicate forethought rather than spontaneity. The sheriff has previously described the case as a targeted kidnapping, though evidence supporting motive has not been publicly disclosed. Volunteers continue to assist with search efforts, underscoring the emotional toll this case has taken on the community. As authorities analyze digital footage and physical evidence, the central question remains whether early warning signs could have been detected, and whether additional surveillance video may hold the key to understanding what happened in the hours leading up to her disappearance.
To the scene, witnesses say that man started stabbing people outside a home.
There was an act of stabbing occurring at the location. About 3 minutes later, Pierce County Sheriff's deputy arrived on scene and called out that shots had been fired.
Officials say the suspect was shot and killed by a deputy.
Now we're getting reports of gunshots.
3 victims were pronounced dead at the scene. Another died at the hospital. Witnesses say at least one person was stabbed in front of multiple bystanders.
In Los Angeles, Nick Reiner has appeared in court, pleading not guilty to charges that he murdered his parents. The case has drawn national attention due to the prominence of his family and the disturbing allegations involved. Reiner appeared calm during the proceedings, entering his plea alongside a recently appointed public defender. Prosecutors have not yet detailed the full scope of evidence, but authorities previously confirmed that his parents were found dead inside their home. The case now moves into a pre-trial phase, where defense strategy and potential motions will begin to shape the legal battle ahead.
David, authorities are investigating the connection between the suspect and the victims, but given there was a no-contact order, it is likely they knew each other. David.
Trevor Alt with us tonight as well. Trevor, thank you. A lot more news ahead. When we come back tonight, we have learned 2 deputies have been shot and killed after a traffic stop, the manhunt, and the deadly shootout. Also a frightening scene in Los Angeles. This is in downtown LA, a car plowing into multiple people on the side.
Records and reporting indicate that the defendant has a documented history of mental health and substance abuse challenges, factors that may become central to the defense. Legal experts note that a plea of not guilty leaves open the possibility of a future insanity defense, though no such motion has yet been formally entered. The case also includes scrutiny of events the night before the killings, when an argument was reportedly observed at a social gathering. While investigators continue to examine the timeline and forensic evidence, The legal process will determine whether the case proceeds to trial or shifts toward competency evaluations. For now, the presumption of innocence remains in place as the court system begins what is likely to be a closely watched and legally complex proceeding.
To the index tonight, tragic news for actor Martin Short. His daughter, Catherine, has been found dead. The LAPD and fire department called to her home in Hollywood Hills, responding to reports of a shooting, a possible suicide.
Tonight, a significant development in the ongoing fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein files. Former UK ambassador to the United States, Peter Mandelson, has been arrested for possible misconduct in public office. Authorities say emails uncovered in the Epstein files suggest he may have leaked confidential government documents. The arrest follows prior scrutiny involving other high-profile figures and adds an international dimension to the expanding investigation. British officials have not disclosed full details of the allegations, but the case underscores the continuing legal and political consequences linked to the Epstein network.
Suicide, finding her deceased. A representative tonight for Martin Short confirming her loss. Catherine was a social worker. She was just 42. Tonight, Novo Nordisk slashing the price of its popular weight loss and diabetes drugs nearly in half for patients who have insurance coverage. Wegovy and Ozempic will eventually have a list price of $675 a month, down 50% for Wegovy and down 35% for Ozempic. They say it starts January.
Analysts note that allegations of misconduct in public office carry serious implications, particularly for a former senior diplomat. The review of communications uncovered in investigative files suggests that authorities are reassessing historical relationships and potential breaches of trust. While no formal conclusions have been announced, the arrest signals that investigations tied to Epstein remain active and evolving. The diplomatic community will be watching closely, as any confirmed misconduct could have broader implications for transparency and accountability within public institutions. As international authorities continue their review, attention returns to developments back in the United States, where dramatic scenes unfolded following a destructive fire.
Dogs right there in the middle of the street, and what he did. Finally tonight here, the snowplow driver, the blinding snow, and then the two dogs he spotted lost and wandering in that snow. Tonight, as so many communities dig out from this monster blizzard, one family grateful for the snowplow driver who went above and beyond, saving their missing dogs. In Babylon, New York, on Long Island, snowplow driver Kenny McGowan clearing snow on the highway when he spotted two dogs without an owner in sight.
A hero's welcome tonight for the U.S. men's hockey team after capturing Olympic gold in dramatic fashion. The victory marks the program's first gold medal in men's hockey since 1980. In a tense overtime finish against Canada, Team USA secured a 2-1 win, igniting celebrations both overseas and back home. The championship carries historical weight, drawing comparisons to past Olympic triumphs while standing firmly on its own achievements. Players returned to American soil greeted by cheers, cameras, and national pride.
The dogs were alone, walking right down the middle of the lane there in the snow. Following them for about a mile, he was able to safely block traffic so he could rescue the lost dogs, warming them up in the back of his truck, then taking them to the Babylon Animal Shelter, where they would eventually reunite with their grateful owners, thanks to one of the dogs'
Star forward Jack Hughes scored the decisive goal, playing through visible injury in the final period. Teammates described the victory as the culmination of years of preparation and sacrifice. For veteran players and newcomers alike, the moment represents both personal accomplishment and national milestone. Coaches emphasized resilience, discipline, and unity as defining elements of the team's success. The gold medal not only ends a decades-long drought, but reaffirms the United States as a competitive force in international hockey. As celebrations continue, the team's achievement offers a moment of collective pride at the close of a day marked by intense and complex headlines across the globe. Tonight's remaining headlines reflect a broad spectrum of national and international developments, from a potentially premeditated abduction investigation and a high-profile murder case in Los Angeles, to international legal fallout tied to the Epstein files, and a historic Olympic triumph for Team USA. Each story carries distinct implications, whether for public safety, judicial accountability, diplomatic integrity, or national pride. Which of these developments do you believe will have the longest-lasting impact? For continued in-depth coverage, like, comment, and subscribe, and stay with us as we track every major development ahead.